Just don't freeze.
I never freeze.
Cue the music.
Whatever you heard, if it makes your skin crawl, it's probably true.
I'm in. Follow my lead. My God, I shot you!
What are you waiting for?
I'm jumping out a window!
What do you mean you're jumping out of a... Oh, sorry, I had it in 2D. Good luck. Oh, fuck. Oh, that is so not practical. Oh, boy.
Okay.
I gotta get out of here.
This is a bad idea. Is it over with me? What?
Women.
Tell me about it.
Copy.
We're in the fire. Sound of the siren.
Ridiculous. The only thing worse than being incompetent, or being unkind, or being evil, is being indecisive.
It's do or
What did it cost?
Everything.
Same thing that's wrong with you isn't wrong with me.
I need you to be brave right now. Can you do that for me? I'm sorry for everything. I'm not really sure how to do this. There was no other way.
I don't feel so good.
Oh, you didn't want to go. I wanted to go. I'm so sorry.
So the root of all suffering is our desire not to suffer.
I want to live a big, great, fantastical life.
breaking the habit, you're watching me sleep. Oh, give me some time, let me learn how to speak. I'm amazed,
And so are you.
What should happen if you forget about me?
I never mind.
I won't ever forget about you.
bothering you. I'm trying to decide if I'll bother with you. So feed me your wisdom and
like
read me
because
your truth.
and you
I'm
love to smile.
amazing.
Where are you off to?
way, bitch.
Oh, Black Betty, bam-a-lam. Oh, Black Betty, bam-a-lam. Black Betty had a chop, bam-a-lam. The damn thing gone pop, bam-a-lam. She said I weren't out of mind, bam-a-lam. The damn thing gone blind, bam-a-lam. Oh, Black Betty, bam-a-lam. Oh, Black Betty, bam-a-lam.
Did you have a party or something?
Every time man makes a new experiment, he always learns more. He cannot learn less.
And you're gonna blink your eyes and you're gonna realize that life has gotten you nowhere because you chased some stupid dream.
I am done being scared. I'm done living in a world where I don't get to be who I am.
You can do it. You can do anything.
What does it take to feel this alive? Every day we're gonna try. What does it take to feel this alive? Chase out our fears till they're forced to hide.
But I'm not giving up.
What does it take to feel this alive?